You had your spiritual awakening. And so you feel discouraged because you know that what you want to do is not what the normal world offers you as options. The only thing that will make you happy is to follow your purpose and to make it into a spiritual business. So what is blocking you from doing it? By the end of this video, you will have learned my exact process and mindset that made possible to go from zero money on the bank account, starting from an entry salary level, to saving up to 70,000 euros that allowed me to let go of my job and go all in with my spiritual purpose. I will show you year by year my story and the numbers to show you that it's possible. Let's begin. Before we enter the first year, I was at it, my mission, and had not been activated yet. I was just focusing on getting my economics degree. And in the meantime, I was thinking, what am I going to do later? I didn't want to do a normal job. It just didn't feel good, right? But God provided me the perfect job in one of the best global consultancy in the world from day one. I just knew two things. One, I didn't want to be there for the rest of my life. And I didn't know how long I would have stayed on that job because I told you I didn't have any money. So I entered with 3 clear objectives. Save as much as possible, so not waste any money. Learn and grow as much as possible on the job and find out what was my life purpose. Why am I here? I said to myself, okay, I don't want to do this, but I don't know what else to do. Let's just focus on these objectives. But the thing that really held my heart was that I didn't know how long it would have taken. Like now I look back, it's like, it's only 5 years. But when you enter and you have no idea of how long it's going to take, it feels like eternity. It feels like it will never end. It's infinite. It's like a slavery job without knowing if I'll ever get my freedom. Like I saw everybody around me. They didn't even have the idea of that one day they would have left that job. And so, how did I prepare? Before entering the job, I created a document, an automated document that automatically tracks my incomes, my expenses, and it tells me the savings every month. Very simple concept. I wanted to know how much I was earning, how much I was spending, and how much was remaining in my pockets after every month. By the way, you can find this document that I created for you as well. Very simple. You can find it in the description box, so you can use it. And so, I entered the first day with this document ready. Zero money on it, and I was waiting for my first salary to see the money entering in my bank account. Anyway, God gave me immediately the opportunity. And so this project, from day one, like first week, I was proposed to go there, which would have been traveling every week from Milan to Paris. I said yes immediately because I could see the opportunity, right? And it was very challenging because it meant traveling every week. And so the good thing about travel is that you get more money for your expenses there, but it's up to you how to spend it. So when I was there, I never went out on dinners. I never went out with my colleagues, maybe once every 3 weeks or a month, because restaurants in Paris are very expensive. And I brought my own food for 2 reasons. One, because I really care about nutrition and didn't want to give up my lifestyle in all of this, right? But also because I was saving a lot of money. And so, probably they thought I was crazy because everybody was there, like, going crazy on Paris, going on dinners. And I just want to tell you that out of this first year, my entry salary was like 1,600, right? So you can see it's not that much. But because of these travel expenses, I saved up to 600 euros per month. Only because I did not burn the money that the company gave me extra. But the other thing about that year was that we worked so late, sometimes up until 10 in the evening. And not only that, sometimes I had to travel at 4 a.m. in the morning to be in the office at 9. Then what happened? At the end of the year, basically God said, this experience is over. I chose to leave the project and I asked to remain in Italy, not to travel anymore abroad. After that year, I got my promotion, and so I was able to increase my salary. And I got different projects with higher responsibilities. And so the second year was really focused on growing into my new role, learning new skills, because this was the other important goal, right? To grow your skills. If you don't grow, how can you get a higher salary? My joy at the end of the day was to look at my balance sheet and to see where I got, how much did I save that month. And I kept following consistently my discipline. So I did not spend, even if I was in Italy, I kept saving my money and recording. Still no holidays, nothing. Just one thing in my mind, one objective. Now, my third year, I realized that I was a bit stagnating and I needed a change because until then, I was still making too few money. Like I was like saving, but I was like, this is not enough. To this rate, I will need 10 years before I have enough. And I could see that the path of growth was set up. I earned the trust among people above me. And therefore I was given a very important project for the company. It was still in Paris. Beautiful opportunity. So of course I took it. And I started working that project. And the resonance was so high that I understood that there was a chance for me. And that's when I was offered by the client to work for them. God literally opened up the doors to my future. God gave me a new opportunity where I increased my salary by 48%. And so I basically almost doubled my salary. And here's the thing, I wanted to understand something. If I had not moved through all of the previous steps, I would have not manifested on my third year this chance, because I had created trust around me. I had grown my skills. I kept doing my things no matter what. I kept my head down and my direction very clear. You see what I mean? The reason why God gave me this opportunity, double my salary and to get out of that reality of slavery into a more peaceful reality, which now I'm going to describe, was because from day one, I did my work. I did the things that I had to do. I didn't just give up or say, no, this I don't like, no, this I will not do. Because if you do that, you remain where you are. Your next opportunity is not presented to you if you do not complete what is in front of you in that moment, right? And so at the end of the year, I had closed the contract with this huge salary jump, and now we go to my fourth year, which is that of working for this new company. And this is when things started to really change. After the first 3 years of really hard work, of really not knowing when things would have happened, this is when I started to see the light. Because of COVID, we did not travel, and so I was still based in Milan, but my job was in Paris, in theory. And so during this year, I started finally to breathe. Money was finally flowing, and I had a more appropriate workload. I didn't have to work until 10 p.m. I could work until 6, like a normal 9 to 5. I really increased my life quality because of this. Life gets easier after it was hard for a period of time. You see what I mean? And so if you want to do the easy things immediately without going through the thing that will make you able to do the easy things later, you are skipping pieces of your journey. Now it's when finally I started to feel better, and this is when I had my spiritual awakening. Remember, I was atheist, I didn't know anything about that, and so that year was when I was activated out of nowhere. Like I was literally told what was my purpose. I didn't understand it back then. I started to also develop my psychic gifts. They activated instantly with my awakening. And so I was able to feel entities, ghosts, can we call them, aliens, whatever. And so I wanted to understand what these are. And so God also gave me a perfect teacher that taught me how to use these gifts, right? I worked very closely with her for some months to learn how to channel. So she taught me the basics for channeling so that I was able to use this gift. Because if you don't know how to use it, it just gets your life crazy because you feel, know, and hear things that other people don't. And therefore you have more information, so you need to know how to discern it, how to use it, right? Otherwise you get crazy, right? Like there's people that get crazy because their psychic abilities open up out of nowhere. I got to a point where I started to actually be good at channeling. I was practicing with other people on spiritual communities, and now we go to the 5th year, and last year still didn't know that would be my year, but I started to feel it. Because I was studying very consistently and practicing every single day. So before I was studying investments and all of that, and now I changed completely and I started to study spirituality, God, psychic abilities. And that's when I understood that I could do readings on people. And I started doing it and I loved it. And so on this 5th year, I started to have some clients to work into some spiritual communities, right? And that's when things started to go weird on my job. Like, consider that was like a calm environment, like nothing ever happened. But suddenly, things started to go south. And suddenly, I found myself with one team instead of 3, out of nowhere. And so I was given even more time because my job didn't change. I was just handling less things. And that's when God gave me the instruction to start building the foundation of my business. And this was 5 months before I left my job. I still didn't know that. Then it came a point in which the things on my job were so boring that I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like I was not learning anymore. And then I looked at my bank account and my balance sheet. I looked at my investments that I'd done in all those years, because in all those years, I didn't tell you, but I was also doing investments. I was like, wow, my purpose is clear. I love what I'm doing. I know that's my path. My job is not really giving me that anymore, and I reached my financial objectives. Literally the next month, I was out of it. And until 2 months before, I didn't know I would have left it. But God showed me, you have everything, you made it. Like I could not believe how I entered and how I was going out. Not only I was a completely different person, but I created the foundations for my future. And so what I want you to understand from this is that you may not know now what is your purpose, but if you refuse to do what is in front of you now, you're never getting there. Because the path appears when you start walking it. It does not appear out of nowhere. If you're stuck, and because of that, you don't take any action, I want to tell you, you will remain stuck. Like, I didn't know all of this would have happened in the next 5 years when I started. I had no idea what would have happened, how I would have made it. And yet I did, simply because I followed two principles. One, I set myself a goal and I never left it. And I kept going with the discipline, no matter what. And by doing it, God opened the door for me. At the end of that year, I had saved 70,000 euros. And I had investments that are still paying me dividends today, thanks to the strategy that I set up to day one. This is literally all you need. If you choose your purpose, truthfully, God will give you what you need for your purpose. But you have to walk the path without understanding why, without expectations of why, because all of those things serve me. Today I'm here because of all the things that I learned that I didn't know I had to learn. If you come with an approach of saying, maybe one day I will do it, you will never do it. You have to set up a specific goal. You have to be very clear about what you do and you have to focus on it. That's the only thing that matters. Wherever you are, if you're a student, if you're in a 9-to-5 job, if you are working on your purpose but you don't do it consistently, please take it seriously. You will make it if you take it seriously. If you put it as your highest priority in life, you will do it. So if you resonate with this approach, I want to work with you. But I'm working only with those that are serious about their purpose, that don't treat it like a hobby. You find all of my links below. You can have the full support that you need to set it up from zero to a complete business in a few months of working with me. Something that would have taken years of learning on the side, doing on a 9-to-5 job. So, thank you for watching. I really hope that you understood that in the end, it's not really unicorns and crazy things that get you the things, but it's you, your discipline, your work, and the choices that you take that get you where you need to go. Then you will receive everything from God. I really hope this video helps you, and thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.